What's up, family? I'm Juan Castillo, and when I'm on social media, my favorite show to watch is the Don't Shoot the Messenger weekly podcast. Chris G, Professional Sutton, Rucker Report delivers sports the way it's supposed to be, real and authentic. So get ready to be entertained. My boys are ready. I'm ready. Let's go.
Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast. I'm your boy, Professional Sutton.
And I'm your boy, Chris G.
And it's your boy, the Rucker Report, a.k.a. Jerry.
Hey! This is what the greatest thing about sports is. You play to win the game.
Inch by inch, play by play, till we're finished.
This is Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast.
X about me.
With Professional Sutton.
You already know.
Chris G.
My homie.
And the Rucker Report.
My family, what up?
They for real.
All straight with no chaser.
Let the games begin.
Let's go. Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast.
Oh, yeah, we live, y'all. We live. We are live.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks again for tuning into another edition of the Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast. I'm your boy, Professional Sutton.
And I'm your boy, Chris G.
And it's your boy, the Rucker Report, Church.
Hey, Ruck, man, where you at, man? Come on, man. I can't be the only one up here. Come on, fam.
No, man.
The lady, like, your sex.
It's private jet Ruck, man.
Listen, why you think I be wanting you to go? Because you sell the show, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, all right.
They look for you, man. Come on, man.
Yo,
Sponsors.
It's private jet Ruck, man.
Okay, all right. Okay. First class Ruck, I got you. Listen, speaking of first class, speaking of sponsorships, we gotta thank one of our sponsors who definitely hold us down, man. Appreciate it. Mentions us on the air, and they don't have to, but they love us, man. We gotta thank 94.3 WYBC.
The rhythm of the city.
Also, we also have to thank Inspire Rentals. Yes.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Definitely gotta thank that. Inspire Rentals. So today, man, we got some interesting topics, man. We're gonna be talking about free agency. We're gonna be talking about Coach Saban with the COVID-19. Let me put some of these up here. We're gonna talk about Nick Saban. You know, he got COVID-19, and also Le'Veon Bell may be headed to the Chiefs. So we got a nice agenda, you know, on the menu today with everybody tuning in. So I want to jump right into NBA free agency. But before I jump into that, I just want to say, yes, I'm happy that my godson, LeBron Aloysius James, is an NBA champ once again. Yes, I'm very happy.
Have we not talked since they won?
No, we have not. We talked on the phone, but we have not talked on the air about that. No, I did not go live. I was being classy. So
you being classy?
Yes, I was.
You was being classy, but you was ducking niggas on Friday night.
I don't know what you're talking about. I was asleep.
Yeah.
Can't help it.
Ruck,
I was tired.
Ruck, was he not? Was he not?
Yes, he was.
I don't know.
Then he called me talking about, I was jet lagged.
I was asleep. I was asleep. Listen.
He did a Drake. He took a half in a hole on the plane.
I was out like a light. Listen, I can't help. I was tired, man, and I want to thank everybody for tuning in. So listen, I just want to say this on air right now. I don't care about that GOAT talk. Please, everywhere I'm turning, they trying to shape it, flip it, mash it, press it, every way you can turn it. I'm tired of LeBron James fanatics trying to put up highlights of when LeBron was 16 versus Michael Jordan when he was 16. And shit is getting ridiculous now. Like, just stop it. Mike had his time. LeBron had his time. Dr. J had his time. Kareem. Let that shit be done. I'm tired, fam. Like, you don't understand? Like, I had to get off Facebook today for a little bit because it's just disgusting. It's really disgusting, like the stuff that I'm seeing. But you know, it is what it is.
Damn, it's never gonna go nowhere. You know, anytime there's ever an athlete that's gonna challenge a GOAT, it's always gonna be a topic of discussion. So, you know, I hate to break it to you, fam, but until LeBron dying breath, yo, the only thing he's gonna hear about is Jordan.
But Chris, I get it, but it's just like
it is what it is.
But like that topic, I don't have a problem with. But I'm talking about the little excuses that people are making. Like, well, LeBron scored 2 more points when he was 10 years old than Jordan did when he was 12. It's like, yo, fam, stop it. Like, that's the debate. It's sports we love talking about. I'm talking about the little like nitpicking stuff. Like, that's the shit I don't like. Like that shit. Now I see why people just, don't like Jordan fans or LeBron fans time, because this shit can be ridiculous. But fanatics, not fans, fanatics. But anyway, speaking of fanatics,
But look, let me
ahead.
congratulate you.
Thank you.
We know we did it privately, but let me congratulate you, LeBron, AD, and the Los Angeles Lakers. Listen, for playing a 5 seed, it wound up to be a pretty decent series. Other than game 1 and game 6, we got to see some competitive basketball, and hey, I guess that's what people have been missing in NBA, I guess, for the past couple years. So kudos.
Well, yeah, man, I'm happy to, and I appreciate. I talked to LeBron yesterday. I told him I can't come yet because restrictions. But he did send his well wishes to y'all as well. So I told him that y'all said what up. I'm trying to get him to repair them kicks, but we'll see. We'll talk about it.
You be sending Uncle Shay some kicks. If you was really tight.
Listen, I don't try. Him and Meyer bought me. They got me a pair. The all black joint that you probably won't see nowhere else. So I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Man, I don't want to name drop too much, but I appreciate my godson for what he did for my birthday. He got me the all black joint on, so I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, man. So talk your ish, man.
Nah, man. Nah, listen, man. I'm gonna act like we've been here before, man. If you played for Coach John Acavita, you act like you've been here before. Okay, so.
But Coach, this our first year ever winning a game. We ain't been here before.
Nope, we're not gonna do what other teams did and humiliate us and bring the band on to take a QB sneak on us or have the linemen score a touchdown. No. We're better than that, all right? So we're going to act like we've been here. So that's that's
how our coach – shout out to Coach At. I love him.
Yes.
Love him still to this day, but I swear I never understood why he said act like we've been there before. When literally we had never been there before.
Never.
Matter of fact, a lot of us coming from Shoop and Sheridan. We had never won 2 consecutive games before,
that's true.
let alone a chip.
I think we both won a combined total of 2 games.
We both want to combine our whole middle school career combined over 2 years.
That's it.
Combined.
That's it.
Does.
And then Chris Chris got a chance to break the Russell record. Nope, take him out. Nope, take him out because we don't want to do that. Yes, we do. But anyway.
Yes, we do. Go ahead.
Anyway, so free agency, Golden State Warriors. They might be looking like some early winners here. Again, this is all speculation. But Chris, man, I'm gonna start off with you. NBA free agency, what's that looking like right now, man? How we looking?
I'm gonna say this: there are like a lot of free agents this year, as always. There aren't really a lot of big time free agents though.
Okay.
If I'm gonna be like perfectly honest, there's really not. I'm trying to think of who like the biggest free agents are. I think like
isn't AD a free agent this year?
No, well, I mean he got an option.
He got an option.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean. He's only a free agent if he wants to become a free agent. And I mean, after getting this chip, I'm gonna assume he's not gonna be a free agent.
He can.
I think maybe Andre Drummond might be a free agent. I'm not 100% sure on that. I don't know if it's restricted or unrestricted. Right. Listen, ain't nobody breaking down no walls with the free agents this year, but there are a lot of nice complimentary players, like Marcus Morris. If I'm not mistaken, Derrick Rose. Who else we got out there? There's just like Tristan Thompson.
I think he somewhere.
Well, I'm just saying, like, that's the level of free agency.
Right.
Free agents this year. It ain't gonna be nobody. It's gonna be more of who you can get to add depth to your Danilo Gallinari, people like that are free agents. It's gonna be more about like adding like good players to a ready-made team as far as free agency is concerned.
Which I think is a great thing, because what happens is now you're stepping into a role of, hey, I can add value to this team, and also I can add that immediate contender label, because that's what some teams need. Whereas as before, it's like, hey, like Brooklyn, like we need a KD, we need a Kyrie. But some many teams like we talked about, Golden State or Miami, they're like, hey, we just need a piece or two, to really help us get over that hump. So that's why this is interesting to me, because you don't see that big free agent name, so to speak, but what that player can add to that team is very important. And I think a lot of people, not saying you guys, but overlook that, because some teams are already ready, but they just need that little bit push over the top.
Well, it always depends on the type of veteran that you add to a ready-made team.
Right.
I mean, since we are on the Warriors, look at them when they were able to add a veteran like David West to the squad. A reliable big that can come off the bench and be productive. Right. Sometimes, you don't need the big splash. I mean, don't get me wrong. The big splash is nice.
Right.
But, I mean, they're not always available. I think more this year is going to be about, like I said, adding those pieces to ready-made teams. But if you're going to make a big move, it's going to be in a trade.
Right. Well, so just to piggyback on what you said, just think about when Andre Iguodala joined Golden State, and I think a lot of people thought he was, washed up at that time. He had, been, this team, that team, but he added some great depth and great value.
Nah, he wasn't. I think he had just been on Philly, right?
Nah,
he wasn't nowhere else.
He was with Denver too, wasn't he? He was with Denver.
Oh, he did go to Denver. You're right. Yeah. He did go to Denver. But you know what? Iggy was washed if he was going to be a number one.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Iggy wasn't that no more. But what Iggy was a veteran contributor that down the stretch could, mean a lot to your team. And obviously, he wound up winning a finals MVP with the Warriors. But, I think there'll be more in line with something like that.
Well,
but I want to get Ruck into this, because Ruck kind of hit me with this news with the Miami Heat, and I think he might as well just take it all away with a blockbuster trade that could be coming through. So Ruck, you might as well just break that right now.
Hold on, let me scroll up there for that one.
Nah, so always, we always keeping our ears to the streets and talking about things, and one of the things that I heard today was that one of the moves that happened as soon as everybody was able to leave the bubble was that Pat Riley and a couple other people made a trip up to Washington to talk to Mr. Bradley Beal. So I mean, what Chris said is very true. I don't think this is going to be this. You can't even say the summer of free agency, but the free agent period where they're going to be those big splash moves. But what I agree with Chris on, and what you said too, Quet, is that they're going to be pieces that happen through trades that are solid players, up and coming players, or players that everybody may think is washed, but just needed a different opportunity. So, like, when I looked at the list, besides like Bradley Beal, you hear rumbling that Oladipo wants out of Indiana.
Right.
Especially
Miles Turner, I think, is a free agent.
Especially if Miles Turner and Sabonis is now up on a free agent deal too, especially if they're not there. What does Brooklyn do with Karis LeVert and Spencer Dinwiddie? Buddy Hield has been wanting to get out of Sacramento, and what does that look like? Because they want him in Philadelphia. Does Philly stay put with Ben Simmons and Embiid and Tobias Harris? Does Tobias become another piece that's gone because they need a shooter like a Buddy Hield? So it's a lot of different stuff. Like, I love the Tristan Thompson news. I think one player that a lot of people are really discounting is Blake Griffin. Is Blake going to continue to sit in Detroit and just ride that out? Now, the crazy thing is a lot of people haven't been talking about Blake, but if you looked at his numbers from last year, Blake was all-star numbers in Detroit. Now, it's a different Blake. It's not put you on a poster every time plate, but he got a different package that looks very good for this new NBA game. Andre Drummond would be a great signing for somebody. I mean, Cleveland got a lot of young pieces and some old pieces that they can kind of move and get away from. People aren't talking about Kevin Love, and I think that's a big piece. You know what I'm saying? Imagine what he could add to somebody. But one of the most intriguing things that I heard, which I think is a good possibility because of Leon Rose and everybody else that was added to the addition in New York, could Chris Paul and Melo get to New York together?
Oh my God! At this point, it don't even matter.
Like, listen. Here's the thing: a lot of people
That's
will,
the rumor,
and
though. That is a real rumor.
Laugh at it, or people would not even think about it. But at the same time,
Too late.
at this point in the East, why can't they win some games?
With the Knicks, I mean, they can win some games, but I mean, again, it's 10 years too late for that.
Yeah, I mean, we know that, but listen, where people are going with free agency and what's going to happen now, especially with the draft, I think, and this is why I think we're going to see a lot of trades, is because people want to get younger and they want these picks. Like Minnesota is all but set on trading away this number one pick. They're fine with it. You know, and if Philly is really serious about getting a good point guard for the future, I mean, hey, it could be possible. Even another couple names just to throw out real quick too. Think about what people are gonna want, or the potential to add somebody like an Aaron Gordon, even from what people have seen from Markelle Fultz. Like, so there's a lot of things that could be done in this free agent period, man. So I'm looking forward to it.
Also, you know, with the free agent, you know, with free agency running rampant, also the coaching changes. You know, looking at what's my man? Damn, I just had a brain fart.
Ty Lue.
Looking at Ty Lue. You know,
Jeff Van Gundy.
There we go. Jeff Van
Doc
Gundy.
Rivers?
You know what I mean? Doc Rivers.
Mark Jackson, possibly.
I mean, Mark Jackson ain't coming back. He's not coming back. Mark Jackson is like a
nobody calling for Mark.
That juju on Mark.
Nobody calling for Mark. Unfortunately,
Mark Jackson is like a Lauryn Hill album. That shit ain't coming. Shit ain't coming. Sorry, bro. I would love it, but it ain't coming. I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean?
Yo, sorry.
You know, so, but I'm interested to see, you know, if Jeff Van Gundy get that Houston job. You know, does he add? You know, what big does he add? You know, like, he's been having a lot of time to, you know, really digest the game. You know, watching it and seeing some stuff. Him and Mark Jackson talking about it. So, really interesting to see what this is going to look like. Again, like, you know, like you and Chris been saying, this is wide open. TC, what's going on, man? This is wide open. The West will be one again. And, you know, so with these coaching changes, what is it going to look like?
Let me tell you something.
What is it going to look like? Go ahead, Chris.
Let me tell you something. If Jeff Van Gundy become the coach of the Houston Rockets, I hope James Harden ready to play defense, because Jeff Van Gundy is about defense. So
yes,
I hope he's going to be ready to do that. Also, I want to throw another name out there that's a free agent. He's not a big splash name, but if you added him to a good roster, this will make a major difference. And Ruck knows him very well. Jerrion Grant, free agent.
Oh yeah, man.
Oh my goodness.
I like what he
my
was
goodness, man. I hated
he was doing.
You're talking about Paul. You're talking about long, athletic. Yo, can hit a three. Can defend 4 positions. I'm telling you.
Hey, you know what else I thought too? Like Chris, after we had hung up earlier, you know what's been a forgotten name, but was a name that was steady on the rise over the last 3 years? Clint Capella. Do they really need him in Atlanta with John Collins? You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine if he gets added to a roster. Like, think about this, right? Say if Golden State stands pat and they say, hey, listen, we need a rim protector, a live body, somebody that we know can fetch and produce. You don't think that becomes a better experiment than what Bogut was?
Hmm.
And you can get him for the low.
Oh wow.
I'm just saying.
I mean, because he would be
Listen, you're going to need size going against the Lakers.
Yeah.
You're going to need size going up against the Lakers.
And then again, I think with Clint, he was already, used to a team that was full of shooters. He already know where to get his spots. He already know where to go. So for him in Golden State, that won't be a hard transition at all. Now he's gonna have shooters that can actually make it. You know what I mean? So that is a great name. That's a great name. Great name.
But you know what I honestly, what I think the Warriors is going to wind up doing, because this draft isn't like, this ain't nobody blowing you away in this draft. You know what I mean? It don't look like there's no generational talent in this draft. But I think what they might do though is trade with a team.
Yeah. Go. I'm sorry.
They might trade with a team and move back in the draft to get a person, that could be a contributor a little further down. Maybe move down to the 6 to the 7, and then, whatever team they trade with, take a player off of their team that can contribute right away. Something more along the lines of something like that, I think is what Golden State might do.
I think that'd be excellent job. You know what I mean? That's an excellent idea because, like, to your great point, Chris, we didn't have March Madness this year, so you don't know who to bank on. You know what I mean? So some of these players you don't have a lot of tape on. Some of these players you're hoping,
right?
And you got to go back a year or two to really get the scouting reports on some of these players. Some of these players you got to go to high school, to 11th grade. You know what I mean? So that's not a bad idea, and I think I would do that because you're playing with house money right there. It's like, all right, let me go deep in my own and try to get me a player that's at 6 or 7 because I'm watching who's coming off the board. Now I can really navigate. Okay, well, this is who we had, and this is who we're looking for. So, yeah, man, I love it, man. I love it. Now, far as I just want to ask this question, real quick. So, talking about teams that were already there, talking about teams that are already established. What does teams like the Lakers, the Celtics, the Clippers, Miami, well, we already talked about them, but teams like that, what do teams that already have it together, what do they do now and how do they get better? Ruck, I'll start with you, man.
Keep adding pieces.
Okay.
Well,
so
I would say
keep adding pieces, or you look at the season as an opportunity for you to add some more draft picks to do something different.
Mm-hmm. Well, for you, Ruck, what about a team like LA? Like, what do they add? Are they okay? Should they take some, like, how can they maintain that momentum and try to get another chip?
I mean, for me, and I had kind of the same discussion the other day with Hambone in London. It's going to be hard for a team like LA to do different things because they are in what we call salary cap hell.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have, and Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, they don't have that many players that are under contract. I think the players that are under contract are LeBron, Caruso, Kuzma, and that may be it. I think the young Antetokounmpo brother. But other than that, you got a lot of those players that are on 1-year deals. JR, Dion, Dwight, JaVale, KCP signed a 1-year deal. Rondo, you know what I'm saying? So Jared Dudley. They got a whole roster full of that. So they really got to look at what they can do with some of those moving pieces or even contract restructuring, even though they're trying to aim to sign Anthony Davis back. But the other good thing about it is it's LA. Who don't want to come play there? Who don't want to catch a piece of LeBron?
Okay. Chris, what you say, man?
Well, I would say this: the Lakers do need to do something though, because the West at they won this year is not going to be the West that they could win next year.
Mm-hmm.
Not as currently constructed, I think. Because, one thing that I don't want to say they got to escape, but, there wasn't no killer shooters. And Golden State and them Splash Brothers are shooters. And they can't shoot with the likes of them. Now, listen, they made up for it in different ways. I think they had one of the fastest paces in the NBA as far as playing transitional basketball. Obviously, they were a problem with size. But, listen, man, people got rings now. And people took 1-year deals. So, listen, having the option of going to Dwight and JaVale McGee might not be there next year. Maybe JaVale McGee want to go somewhere else. Maybe Dwight listen, JaVale might want to get paid. Dwight, maybe he thinks he's totally redeemed himself. And maybe he wants to, try to be a NBA star again. I don't think it'll be successful, but maybe he might want to go that route again. So, I think they'll need to focus on maybe adding some shooters. I think teams like the LA Clippers, they're going to lose some talent. I mean, I don't think Montrez is going to stay. They're going to lose They're going to lose Morris brother. I think that's Markeith or is it Markeith? I can't remember which one is which. But they're probably going to lose a Morris brother, and then look, man, you're stuck. You got tricked into keeping Pat Bev. You've realized what Paul George is and what he isn't. I don't know, man. Listen, Zubac is good,
Chris,
but obviously he's not good enough to compete with Golden State. What's up?
Hey, yo, Chris. What it do, baby?
Man, y'all crazy. Well, we definitely will, see, and as the days move on, and again, this is odd for us because usually this is over, but because of COVID, things are pushing the season back. So we are adjusting like everyone else is. But speaking of COVID, I want to talk about Nick Saban, the coach of Alabama. He has COVID-19, coronavirus, whatever you want to call it. With that being said, fellas,
No. Hold on. What do you think about that, Professional Sutton?
You stupid. Listen, I wish him well. I think one thing that the SEC won't do, they won't cancel games, too many games. I know that Florida is like, hey man, we don't want to get sick, and we got a Georgia fan out there, Amos Williams, who's talking junk. But anyway, I digress. But I am really interested to see how the SEC will handle this, especially knowing that Alabama already had cases earlier, in the year where they had some COVID cases. So what is that going to look like? Are they going to shut down the facilities and say, y'all going to have to take 2 or 3 weeks off, or are they going to keep it pushing? But I mean, I wish them well. Everyone that knows me knows how I feel about Nick Saban. But I don't know. That's tough. That is tough. But yeah, go Gators. I'll start with Ruck, man. Nick Saban catching the coronavirus. What does that look like for college football? Because
he's tough, right?
I think he is.
I just want to know if that Black Lives Matter over there.
No, of course they don't, because he goes and he does a Tootsie Roll and 2-step and gets them. But anyway, come on, don't get me.
Man, oh man. I mean, me and Chris were talking about it earlier. I don't think that there's going to be any stoppages of play. I can totally see Alabama putting him, up in a box somewhere, or if not in a box, he'll probably have a disguise on or something like that.
Yeah.
But ain't nothing stopping in Tuscaloosa, bro. Nothing at all. Don't worry about it.
Because that's their moneymaker. Alabama football generates so much money for the town of Tuscaloosa. the town of Tuscaloosa will go bankrupt and probably shut down if there's no college football. You know, some cities they can go without football. You know, some cities they can go without sports, but Tuscaloosa relies heavily on Alabama. And not only Tuscaloosa, but the SEC conference. When Alabama's good, they generate a lot of money. Not saying that other programs can't, but Alabama makes a lot of money for a lot of situations, including NCAA. So, man, listen, it's kind of like paid in full, man. It's like, yo, man, you can't kill the Connect. We gotta find a way to keep him healthy. We gotta make sure he's good, because if he not, then shit, it's kill or be killed out here. But yeah, it's definitely one of those situations where college football will continue to go, even though Mark Emmert talked about, you know, player safety and, you know, kids first, student athletes first. Yeah, right. That shit go out the window. Chris, I know you're gonna speak that, you know, game when, you know, because how you feel about college football, but what does this say to how NCAA handles this? I know he got a delay. Chris, you there?
I think that it says a few things. First, yeah, I do got a little bit of delay. But I think it says a few things. One of the things that it says is, one of them won't be answered yet. We have to see how they proceed with the new information that they have just recently got. So we do need to see how that plays out. I mean, we just learned today about Nick Saban, so we do need to see how they handle the whole Nick Saban incident. But at the end of the day, you know, the Florida LSU game, that game didn't get canceled. It just got postponed.
See?
So, if anything, SEC was always going to power through any hurdle that the COVID was going to put in its way. And I think what everybody was trying to say, and listen, I wish Nick Saban nothing but the best. I hope he has a speedy recovery. And you know, I don't want anything that to happen to him. But him and Dabo and all those other coaches, they were the ones out there going, listen, it's safer here than anywhere else. You know what I mean? They were the one preaching that rhetoric. So for them to, you know, for Nick Saban to actually, you know, contract it, it just shows, listen, everybody keeps underestimating COVID. I think you get lulled into this false sense of security with COVID. You go, man, listen, we've been good, we've been testing, we straight, and you get lax on it. It's highly contagious. Now listen, on a real note, it probably won't kill you. You know what I mean? It's on the, as far as it being deadly, if you're relatively healthy, you should be fine. You should be. But that don't mean that you can't contract it and spread it to somebody else. And that is what everybody was trying to preach to NCAA, to the masses, that it probably won't affect you. But if you catch it because you out here running around without a mask, or you become relaxed in the protocol that you need to take to stay safe, that you're probably going to get it impacted to somebody else, that it will affect somebody through you down the line. And that's all that they were trying to prevent. But the South was going to be the South. And football was going to be played. Somebody pressure to play. But here's the kicker. And y'all know, nobody wants to see Ohio State football more than me. But here goes the kicker. Now, you're only playing 8 weeks. You got no room of error to reschedule games.
You don't.
NCAA and the college football championship and the tournament and everything, they said 8 weeks is enough. Now, if you got to miss some games, is 7 enough? Is 6 enough? Is 5 enough? So, you know, listen, I want to watch football. I ain't doing nothing at home on a Saturday and Sunday. But I also, man, I don't want all these young kids getting sick. I don't want Nick Saban, who is what, like 68?
I
don't want him getting sick with COVID neither. So, you know, we'll see. We'll see.
Chris,
IO Kim.
Okay, you see it. Okay, you see it. Oh, I always gotta make sure you say it. Now, I think that you bring up an excellent point, Chris, and I think some of these schools, some of these conferences are going to be hiding their cases so they don't have egg on their face. Because, like you said, if the Big Ten gets one case, oh man, that could ruin a team. Because like you said, you get 8 games. If you push it back a game, you could be out of contention. So that's going to be tough. Some of these conferences are not going to say who has what. It's easier to say, yeah, a coach has it versus a star player who is a tackle machine who is in everybody else's face, because now it's hard to trace who has what and what happens. So the Big Ten has a microscope on them, when they come back. That's next week. So very interested. Very interested. Oh man, I don't know. It's just like, I just wish Nick Saban the best, but the NCAA is going to be lying about some of those things so they can save face. Save face. Hey, Ruck, man, do you have anything else on this topic? Because I do want to move on to the NFL, because we got a grass ain't always green on the other side player.
Last thing, Roll Tide.
Oh my God. Anyway, mute nigga Mike. Le'Veon Bell, the Jets.
Yeah, here we go.
Fire him on his day off, and he really hasn't been productive in New York since he got to New York. He took a year off to get his contract situated, to get the things he liked. Came to New York, hasn't seen him, hasn't been anywhere. Him and AD still an APB out on both of them. But now, talking to Chris, I didn't know this. I know Chris and Ruck talk possibility of Le'Veon Bell headed to the Chiefs. Is that what I'm hearing, fellas? Is this correct?
Listen, let me say this, man. Lev Bell did exactly what he was supposed to do in New York. You gonna play it out to make sure you get your contract. You gonna act like you hurt until you feel like you want to play,
Wow.
and you're close to the trade deadline. Anything to get away from Adam Gase. I'm telling you, he is the happiest dude on the planet right now. And even if the possibility of him going to the Chiefs, my goodness, man. If that doesn't scare everybody in the NFL, I don't know what will, because you're talking about adding a reliable running back and a great out of the backfield receiver to an already stacked offense.
Yeah, man, that's crazy.
Like, and then here's the other thing that a lot of people don't really understand or haven't taken into account. Lev Bell is not 30 years old. He's not an old running back.
That's true. Damn.
He's still young and had a full year off from NFL.
Damn.
So,
and he don't have a lot of wear and tear on him because he wasn't doing a whole bunch of running in New York. So
listen, it's a great situation. Wherever he feels like he can land, or whatever team feels like they can use his services. But not only the Chiefs, that would make it real tough for everybody. But Chris brought up a good point, and it's, Chris, if you don't mind, I'll put it out there for everybody. But Chris had pointed out, what about him in New England? What that looks like for Cam and him in New England.
That was the first thing I
like
thought.
for the possibility of that offense.
That was the first thing I thought. I said, I can see him going to New York. To New England. That was the first thing I thought. I said, because they know how to get these low. And again, they already are good, sneaky good, but contenders adding him because his running style in New England is perfect. And I think of like Corey Dillon when they got him, patient runner, someone who, you knew what you were getting, but now you're getting him in a different and better environment.
Clock killing Corey Dillon.
You said cop killing?
No, clock.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I got you. Okay. That's why, all right. I didn't think it was cop. Okay. Yes. So adding Le'Veon Bell, man, it's definitely interesting. Definitely interesting. Wow. Now, I would like to talk about the Dak injury. I didn't see it when it happened, thank God. But what happens with Dallas now? Because I mean, he was throwing 500 yards in losing effort.
Can I jump on this real quick?
Yes, no, please do, because he was holding out trying to get his money. What happens now?
So for Dak, I feel really bad because for everything that he was doing for the start of the season, it looks like he was going to be on path to be one of the top quarterbacks in the league this year. Also, I think it would have put him in a great position to negotiate with Dallas some more, especially with everything else that's out there.
Right.
But now the injury sets him back. It shuts him down for the year. We don't know if Dallas will make the playoffs and then where he'll be, because they're talking about 4 to 6 months he's done. Will Dak get the payday that he was looking for now? No. I think that's totally out the window.
Right.
The hope is that Dallas does what's right by him and gives him a good payday, but we don't know that.
Right.
But I think the other thing that you got to consider on the other side, and I think people may disagree, but Andy Dalton is enough of an NFL quarterback that they can still win that division and get into the playoffs.
I agree with that.
And the other thing with Andy Dalton is, outside of AJ Green, right? He hasn't had this type of talent around him in levels. Like you're talking about Zeke, you're talking about, even though we went back and forth about Amari, Gallup, CD Lamb, there's some good talent around him that's better than he's ever played with. And again, he was a good quarterback in Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Dallas is in a good, and again, the NFC least, they got the potential to still win the division. And I don't see that not happening.
Chris, what's up, man? With Dak, Dallas, what's going on here?
I would say that the problem with Dak and the problem with the Cowboys and Dak is, first of all, Dak's agent played it wrong. Dak thinks he's a generational talent. So that's the kind of money he wanted. Or he at least wanted to set himself up so that he could hit the free agent market again for a big deal. Both of those things to me seem counterproductive. So, I mean, you're talking about, first, if you want Patrick Mahomes money, you got to have Patrick Mahomes wins and Patrick Mahomes talent. And as much as I like Dak, he's just not that. So, really, you were bickering off of, give or take, taking off a year and about $10 million. That's really what you was bitching for with the whole contract situation. So you mishandled that. You bet on yourself, and there's no problem with that. But we've seen the result of you betting on yourself. You suffered a horrific injury. Prayers up to that. I like that, and I don't want that to happen to any player. I've seen it happen too many times. It's disgusting, and I don't like it. So I hope that he recovers and he's right back to where he should be. But at the same time, I, as a businessman, I wouldn't even offer him the contract that I offered him last. Dude, now you coming off an injury. Just from a business standpoint, I can't offer you Carson Wentz money again.
Yeah.
I already see what's happening with Carson Wentz. That's not even coming out the way that they liked it, that they thought it would in Philly. So I'm not going to offer you that type of money again. I mean, I can offer you a big deal. He deserves one. But I can't reset the market on you, Dak.
True.
And I especially can't reset the market on you after you just suffered a dislocated ankle and your foot was hanging on national television.
Come on, Chris.
I would be doing myself a disservice if I did that from Jerry Jones' aspect. And then also I would want people to remember to kind of piggyback on what Ruck was saying. Andy Dalton, even though I'm not a big red rifle guy, Andy Dalton is adequate enough to win that stank-ass division. Mm-hmm. And let's say they fuck around and win an NFC championship, not an NFC championship, but let's say they fuck around and win a playoff game. Please don't get it fucked up that they won't love to have a white quarterback in Dallas. And they'll forget all about you, Dak.
Yep.
So that needs to be in people. They're going to do that to Dak. And I said, all right, let's see. They said, oh, if Jerry did it to Dak, yeah, man, we would have to go see Jerry. And I said, all you Cowboy fans will fall in line like you always do because Jerry sucked for 15 years. And y'all was running out Quincy and the boys, and you ain't say shit.
Yep.
So
he just put Romo in there and let Romo.
There's a lot of questions on the table for the Dallas Cowboys that we won't know the answers to until the end of the season.
It's a great point, man. It's a great point. Well, yeah, this season, especially being a Niners fan, is tough to watch. I don't know. People say, well, did having no preseason play into that? I don't know. Injuries happen in football all the time. So, I mean, you can't even look at the one with Dak and say, well, he didn't have enough preseason because that's why this happened. You just don't know. You just really don't know. But yeah, that's whew, that injury, man. I'm glad I didn't see it firsthand, so. But fellas, man, I tackled what I need to tackle today. Talking about that. I know Chris called me hot. He was ready. He's seen some stuff that he did not approve of. So I had to talk about it, man, because some people were spreading some false facts out there, but we had to clear it up. Had to give you the good news. Is that a fair statement, fellas?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, we can't go nowhere until we get say word. Until we talk about what you need to hear. We try to give you that good soul food before you leave us. But it's kind of like being at grandma's house. You can't leave until you grab a plate. So
I just want to say,
go ahead, Chris.
If you out here and you got your own YouTube and you got your own whatever establishment you got, you need to know the names of people. You need to know
them. Chris pissed. Okay. I mean, we all have brain farts sometimes, Chris. We all have brain farts, right? No? Chris? I think that it's just a lag. But anyway, we're gonna definitely talk to him over here. It's a little laggy. But again, like I was saying, we gotta give you that soul food before you leave grandma's kitchen. So we got another edition. DSTM presents Say Word with our brother Deacon Reverend Deshaun.
No, man, too big of a delay. I'm not gonna respond.
Yes.
Yo, man, Chris is the best, yo. He's the best. What's going on, people? So this week's version of Say Word, one of the big things that's been going on and I've been thinking about, experiencing, living, is just leadership and seeing what leadership is, man. Like we call our brother, the professional son, the boss, because he is that. He hates to hear it, but we salute that brother like that because, for our crew, he has been a great leader. We are all great leaders in our own right. But definitely wanted to shout him out. So keeping with the leadership mantra, we're going to say this. The essence of great leadership is influence, not authority. The essence of great leadership is influence, not authority. It's not about the title, people. It's not about whatever considers you to be. It's the influence that you have on people, the impact that you make when you're in others' presence. So that should be enough for you to demand the best out of you every day. We get a chance to live it, so why not be the best version of us and see how much we can influence and impact others to be the best them. So that's this week's version of Say Word, people. Like I always say, think big, but most importantly, man, be easy.
Oh man. With that being said, man, it's not more you can say to that, man. It's not more you can say that because we got what we need, man. Again, we want to thank everyone for tuning in. And we definitely got to thank our sponsor, and I hope Chris can get this. 94.3 WYBC.
The rhythm of the city.
Thank you. And also Inspire Rentals. But on that note, man, we gotta go, but we will see you again soon. And thanks for tuning in to another edition of Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast. I'm your boy, Professional Sutton. And he's your boy.
Nope, it's not gonna come through on time.
Yep, and he's your boy, Chris G.
And it's your boy, The Ruck Report.
Peace.
Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast. I'm your boy, Professional Sutton.
And I'm your boy, Chris G.
And it's your boy, The Ruck Report, a.k.a. Jerry.
This is what the greatest thing about sports is. You play to win the game.
Inch by inch, play by play, till we're finished.
This is Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast.
X about me.
With Professional Sutton.
You already know.
Chris G.
My homie.
And the Rucker Report.
My family, what up?
They for real.
All straight with no chaser.
Let the games begin.
Let's go. Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast.
Yo, what happened with the delay?